tuning in to the online broadcast network, AfterBuzz TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your number one source for after-show entertainment. AfterBuzz TV, the destination for TV superfans, producing after shows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows, interviewing celebrities and showrunners, and bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
Hey guys, welcome back to another edition of Red Sox Wrap 360 here on AfterBuzz TV. In the house tonight we got Monse Bolanos.
Yeah.
How are you?
I'm doing well. You said that lovely. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm a lovely guy. What's up, Stef Z? How are you?
I'm good. What's up? Missed you guys last week.
Oh, yeah. And slumming with us for the second week in a row, the Sultan of Sabermetrics himself, Bobby DeMuro. What's up, Bobby?
Is my sentence over yet? Can I go back to the National League, or do I have to stay here and talk about cellar dwellers?
You don't want to talk about how
No,
great
you
the
have to stay. This is hard for all of us. It's a team
Seriously.
effort.
It's true.
Jeez.
He doesn't know about
Is that why you guys are wearing black? Because it's just so
We're
dark.
mourning.
We're mourning, and
You
we're
guys
here
are
to
still hopeful. We're
Yeah.
smart.
win. Yeah. This is true. These are true statements.
I'm trying to be hopeful.
Hey, you tried to decorate the set today.
You
Me
know,
and Bobby are
liven it
like, yeah, we're just gonna sit in the corner with our black shirts.
Something positive to talk about.
Yeah.
Little
It's
set
a
dresses.
nice
You guys like
jacket.
that?
Yeah, that bee.
is
It's a good
Wonderful.
design. The bee is a good design. That's something positive.
Tried to make it look like my basement.
Yeah.
Pretty cool. I mean, I'm
You forgot
here.
the sheets.
Right.
There's not enough crumbs down here for it to be your basement.
This is
That's
true.
true.
This is true.
And your mom's not walking in the middle of the show with macaroni and cheese, so this is not your basement.
Ah, but that's
She
not an
makes good
awful
mac and cheese,
idea.
though.
I never said she didn't. I'm just
Just
you
saying,
know.
it's
I
kind
had
of
to
worth
give her a
it.
scolding after last time.
Yeah.
That's not an awful
Mother!
idea.
Oh,
Like
man.
if somebody brought us food right now.
I don't know. I see some
makes-
garlic melts over there.
Right now, it makes this topic a little easier if I had food in front of me.
The quality of a team is inversely proportional to how much you talk about non-baseball at the top of the show.
Yeah.
So all this
Take it
non-baseball
away.
discussion.
It's been really a sad
it away.
week, you know, with the short week in the All-Star, and then, you know, we just have looked horrible in these first two games of the Angels series.
Yeah.
I
The
told you
rain,
last
this
week-
rain is merciful rain. Holding off this third
It's
game.
washing away the terribleness.
Oh.
Actually, it's not merciful rain because they're going to have to come back. If they
It's
don't get the
true.
third game in, they're going to have to come back for a single game later
Won't
this
they
year.
just play two tomorrow?
Nope. Well, there is no tomorrow. This
There
is
is
Sunday.
tomorrow.
Oh no, there
There
is
is
tomorrow.
tomorrow.
This is a Monday.
This
You're right.
tomorrow.
This is that weird Monday game.
This is a
Come on.
Friday through Monday series.
What's the
Very
weather
odd.
tomorrow though? Does
It's
anybody
supposed to
know?
clear up by 11 a.m.
Okay.
I don't know. This weather is like all
I'm-
tropical. Like I can't live like this, guys.
Yeah, it's very East Coast happening over here. I think the Red Sox are just bringing the clouds with them.
like they're just like we need to do something to help us out because we can't stop.
What's
Mic
with a
drop.
rain day? A rain delay in Anaheim.
Wait. Say that question again.
What's with a rain delay in Anaheim?
I don't know. Apparently, on sports radio when I was on my way here, they said that it has to do with some hurricane happening south of us that is like coming this way.
But it was raining yesterday too, and then it was
And
sunny,
it
and it was
was-
raining again.
Yeah, cray.
Hey, Padres Rockies got rained out in San Diego. That
That's-
hasn't happened in decades.
Yeah.
I was
So-
wondering about
You know,
that.
I mean, I get it, but I wonder what the threshold is for rain for it to have to be delayed and canceled. I mean, most other sport, like football, they play in the freaking snow.
They play soccer.
I mean,
in the
I
rain.
get it. It's harder the ball to throw, but how much harder really is it?
A lot.
Yeah.
Oh,
Alright,
significantly.
Fine.
But yeah,
fair
isn't
enough.
it like different? Like in other sports, like in soccer and football, they play. So how is it so much harder in
Baseball's precision. Baseball's about how a pitch moves. Baseball's
Yeah,
about
pitching,
how feet
yeah.
work do in the infield, and it
I
totally
mean,
shuts you down. You
footwork
gotta
is
do it.
in every sport,
Or
though.
feet
But I guess
work,
you're right.
do you
as
think
Bobby said it.
do you do it? Do you think they do it for the safety of the players or the precision of the game?
Both.
It's equal
Both
split.
100%. Yeah.
Okay.
And look, I mean, you have to think too about in football you have the slop and the offensive linemen and
Mm-hmm.
the in the middle of the field and whatever, and you go down and back on the field. But in baseball, you have pitchers throwing 100 pitches each on the mound. Mound's going to get torn up in 15 pitches when it's
Yeah.
wet.
No, it's
So
true.
it's
That is
Fine.
true.
You know, the quality of the game
Fine.
from that point just deteriorates so much. You got to do it.
Just
Plus,
saying, baseball players get the good contracts, and as soon as it rains, they get to go inside.
I can't imagine them having a real state-of-the-art drainage system in Anaheim either. either. You know.
No.
So,
Nothing. Have you seen the traffic today?
Yeah.
I can't.
Come on.
I don't know this for a fact, but I think MLB requires it in every stadium. Even the Dodgers, even the Angels, even the Padres.
just like-
it never rains, but if you're going to build a major league stadium, you know how good these grounds crews are. This is the way it has to be. This is how it has to recover. Things going to be perfect tomorrow. If they play the morning doubleheader, it's going to be perfect tomorrow.
Yeah.
And we'll see who the Red Sox bring up for a 26-man if they play the doubleheader tomorrow, because you get an extra pitcher on doubleheader days.
That's true.
Yeah.
So.
Let's see. I don't know. I don't think it
So,
matters.
so we don't think the game's going to happen today. Like, we don't think it's happening.
I think
mean,
they're going to
it's-
get it in. They said it's going to die down around 10:15 Eastern
That's
time,
true.
7:15 Pacific. So I think they're going to.
When I was out there, I checked the weather, and I live out by Angel Stadium. It said it was supposed to rain till 9, 10 o'clock.
Oof. All right. Well,
But that's what
conflicting
my phone
reports.
said. But yeah, that's what my
Well,
phone
we'll
said
see
when I checked
who's
it.
right.
I know. I hope they play. I hope they play.
I hope they play tomorrow. Let them have the day, soak up the rain, go out there, do a little dance.
There you go.
When's the last time we got back-to-back shutouts?
That's
It's like 2009 or something?
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
So prolonging having to talk about the Red Sox a little
We're
further.
here now, Red Sox.
All right.
Yay.
Let's talk about the All-Star game.
All right, sure.
You know, let's just do that.
You know-
Home run derby, awesome.
Awesome.
You know, I got big qualms with the All-Star game.
Oh boy.
I just don't. I mean, I don't know. Do you guys agree that whichever team wins, that's who gets home field advantage for the World Series?
No,
Like,
it's
I think
terrible.
that's the most terrible rule ever because people don't show up. It doesn't matter. Like, it matters, but it doesn't matter who wins.
Sounds like somebody didn't listen to Red Sox Rap 360
We
last
talked about
week.
this last week.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, we
Whoops,
did.
sorry.
That's cool.
No, didn't listen.
Way to go. Way to go.
Sugar.
That's way to support the show.
No, you're
right.
you're
No,
on the
absolutely
Red
right.
Sox 360 editorial slant, 100%.
Okay.
It's stupid. An exhibition game
right, sweet.
cannot matter for the biggest,
Yep.
most important trophy in the sport. These guys are real competitive. You see Zach Greinke when he gave up the home run to Mike Trout. To lead off
Yeah.
inning, he was pissed.
Yeah.
These
Yeah.
guys are competitive. They want to show out. But I don't want, no offense to Brock Holt, I don't want Brock Holt or anybody else from a non-contending team potentially deciding who's going to get that 7th game at home in the World Series
Yeah.
come October 30.
I agree.
I don't understand why it's not neutral. Like how the Super Bowl football.
Or
Like
even
why do they
NBA
not? Why does not a
All-Star
city bid? You know what I mean? Like I get because it's split
Oh, so you
and
say
then
like put it in Miami regardless of
Oh,
who
I
is
see.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
neutral-
like put it a neutral thing because that way all the fans can get tickets. They can make plans. You don't have to wait to the end to see who's in it. Da-da-da. Like I feel like it would be a
That would be an
completely
interesting, like-
different thing.
No
That's
travel.
interesting.
I don't think it ever happened, but to do like 7 games in 7 days, all in Miami, that's an interesting thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why not? And every year a different city gets it, so
Yeah.
it goes around because you got cities that haven't been in the World Series for 20, 30, 20 years,
Yeah.
whatever. They're never going to get that. Let their fans enjoy that. The fans from the other place travel. It works for the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I prefer
Maybe it's just
that.
because I'm such a big football fan, like, and I feel like that system makes sense.
I'm with you.
I'm open for discussion, but
I
I feel like
prefer-
it's why not?
Yeah, I'll prefer yours over what they do, but I'll
Yeah.
also take what the NBA does. That the All-Star game is just an All-Star game, just for fun. Let them score 30 home runs each in that
Yeah.
game and just make it for fun. And then the team with the highest percentage, the highest whatever winning percentage gets home court.
And I feel like most of the other All-Star games, and you guys might have talked about this last week, I totally didn't watch the show, but all of the other All-Star or like the Pro Bowl or stuff like that is always like after the season. What if one of these guys gets hurt in this All-Star game that's like halfway through the season and then it screws? I get that this is a dark week. I get that the day before and after the All-Star game is the only day there's none of the major four sports on television.
Now
I
it's 2
understand
days after.
they gotta fill. Is it 2 now?
Now it's 2. Yeah.
Oh wow, I did not. But you know, like I understand there needs to be a filler, but what? Like that just doesn't make any sense. If one of your star players gets hurt in an All-Star game midway through the season, I'd be pissed.
That's the Pete Rose, Ray Fosse discussion.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Oh,
Right.
Petey.
That was
Rose.
Ray Fosse's career changing forever because Pete Rose ran him over in an All-Star game. But if you ask guys about that, I don't think they regret it at all.
Yeah.
They're playing hard. It's another baseball game for them because it's so much pride for them. As a team, as a fan, you would see that. And if, XYZ got injured.
But it'd be even more pride if it was, after the season.
Yeah.
Well, actually, maybe not. Maybe not because they're playing for that.
Yeah, they're playing for home
I
court
don't know.
advantage.
I can logically see both sides. don't agree with it.
I look at it from a different way with the All-Star game, not the players who are participating, but the ones who aren't. It's 4 days off to reset your rotation, right? And for teams that it matters to, this is huge. For a team that's in contention, you reset your rotation right now, and effectively, you can almost count backwards from September 30th and say, okay, what order, who do we need to pitch when, so that when we are at September 15th, we're ready to go for the last 2 weeks. Not going to matter for the Red Sox this
I was
year,
going
but
to
another
say,
year.
clearly the Red Sox didn't do just that.
I was going to say,
Clearly they missed that tidbit of information.
for a team that's not in contention, they might do something like start Wade Miley the last game of the first half, and then start him in the second half on the first game. Terrible.
You don't like that?
That's our best bet. He's actually pitching decent lately.
Yeah, it's his regular rest.
6 no-hit innings the other day. I don't know if you saw that.
But you didn't. Yeah, we got 0 runs. Though.
Zero
Yeah.
runs. Zero
Just
runs.
saying.
Yeah, we are 15th in the league for runs. We have 376 runs. We are 15th in the
It's
league.
dead last.
Yeah, I like to try. You know how
I'm just
I
going
try
to
and
say it. We're
stay
sucking it right now.
silver lining.
I'm just going
you
to
know?
say it. You with your silver lining, I get it. I appreciate it. But something's got to give.
Well,
What
in
are
the
we gonna do?
last 3 weeks before the break, they were like 3rd in the AL in batting average. So you got to think it's trending in the right direction. Obviously, the last 2 games have been horrible. There's 7 for 60 so far collectively as a team. That's a 117 clip.
It's
boys and
just so
girls.
hard for me because it's such a roller coaster. Like, if it was bad and it was slowly improving, I'd be a little bit more hopeful. To bad, then sweet. We got some hits. We got this is happening. To like,
Yeah.
there it goes again.
There's like nothing to cheer about. It's all downfall. Like a little bit up, and then it just goes back down.
I mean, that's going to happen. It's a 162 game season.
No, I get
But
it.
this
but
has been like, I feel like we've been saying this. Like, Steph has been saying this for weeks.
it's a little bit of the Red Sox roller coaster.
Yeah.
6 Flags.
And to be honest, I think you got to look. It's 4 days off a break. Everybody has a hangover coming back. You're talking about going 3 hours west, which is a problem for a lot of these guys to get ready. And not for nothing, you face the Angels' 2 best arms. Let's give credit to C.J. Wilson and Garrett Richards. Those guys throw the ball.
Yeah.
No question. I'm chalking it up to the layoff.
Yeah.
That's for C.J. Wilson, because I'm not a big C.J. Wilson fan, but Garrett Richards is one of the top 5 starters in the AL, I believe. And so he was just
And
sick.
who were the Angels come with tonight? Was it Hector Santiago?
Hector
Yeah.
Because
Santiago.
that's an all-star.
Yeah.
So you got 3 real good arms you got to start up with. Welcome back to baseball. Good luck. You know, that's. I know it's easy to be frustrated about the Red Sox, but the Angels are good. If you had caught the Angels 2 months ago, it'd have been a different story. The Angels are good. They're hitting the ball now, and they've always pitched really well this year. Trout and Pujols and the guys have come away. Cole Calhoun had a great day the other day. This is a really good team. You go on the road for 4. You get one of these 4, you're going to be lucky.
But we get nobody's stepping
get one
up.
run, we're
like,
gonna be
you
lucky.
just-
No, one win.
I know, but I'm saying if we get 1 run.
Maybe.
Yeah, it's just awful. Like, you just listed all these players that are doing really well for the Angels. Okay, let's list the players that are doing well for the Red Sox. I'll wait.
Bogarts and bets, baby.
Like,
The future. The future. And Bobby, I know how you always like to talk about. What do you talk about? The core positions or the primary positions?
Yeah.
Shortstop, center field. That's a silver lining for the Red Sox because it looks like we're locked up there for the next 10 years.
And catcher.
And catcher.
guys like Swihart and
Yeah.
Christian Vasquez, who's injured, going to be injured for a long time. But exciting guys. If you can lock up catchers, shortstops, and center fielders, the more of those you get, then you move some of them off short to second and third. You move some of them off center to left and right. The more middle of the diamond guys you have, catcher, pitcher, short, and center, the better you are long term. You know, it's like to use a terrible metaphor. It's like a tree. You get a really good trunk, and then you build out. Right.
Wow.
That's exactly
Wow.
what it is.
Keep those coming.
Can you
Whoa,
visualize
Bobby,
that?
that just blew my
That
mind.
is
Can you
I can.
understand?
We can.
Please.
Do I need to
Thank
draw
you.
it?
can
Yes,
you?
please.
Do you have a pen?
That'd be ideal. That'd be
Okay,
ideal.
let's see what you got.
That's good.
Now we're drawing. That's how bad the
Maybe
Red Sox are.
now
We're
with the
drawing a
changes
tree.
to the home run derby
Here's a tree.
and like that, like, you know, developing more drama, they don't need to play for.
Okay, I'll do it on here.
Oh,
This is
look
even
at
better.
that. That's
Look at how
perfect.
fancy. That's official.
Keep going. Just
So fan. I'm just begging they get rid of the playing for home field advantage.
I am
thing.
too. It's
Oh,
terrible.
back to the All-Star game? Is that
I
what
mean,
I would
we're
love
doing?
to do that.
I mean, I think we touched upon the Red Sox enough. What else do you want to talk about?
I
How
mean,
are the
I
ESPYs?
do have something
The
to say about
ESPYs
our...
was sick.
Oh, wait, before
go
we
ahead.
talk, I do have something to say about the
Alright.
All-Star. I think it's kind of ridiculous that we had 1 Red Sox in the All-Star game when it's, $166 million roster? Like, that's what nobody's said. And it's, like, ridiculous that we had 1 representative.
Well-
Somebody who even started as a part-time player, like, not even playing the entire.
It's a beautiful tree.
That's gorgeous.
Thank you.
That is really
Start with
look
the
at
trunk,
that.
you guys. There you
Got
go.
The catcher,
Wow.
the
The pitcher, the shortstop, the center field.
There you go.
left
Wow.
field, right field,
Wow.
third base, second
and
base,
just branch out.
first.
Just when I thought we got to the end of this kid's talents,
we still got
We got more.
we got a
Boom.
seed. We got a seed in the ground. We
There
got
you
a
go,
twig.
guys. Sabermetrics.
We got a few twigs.
Sabermetrics and whiteboard skills. That's what I do. That's what I know. Who else would?
that being said, I wanted to alert you to the fact that coming up on August 22nd and 23rd is the 5th annual Sabermetrics Scouting and the Science of Baseball seminar. Are you
Wow.
going to that? That's in
We're-
Boston on the campus of BU.
I will not be going there.
You won't be going to that?
Man, I was gonna go, but now I'm not. That Bobby's not going.
Oh, look! I think it's phenomenal. I think teams need to use it. Teams are
going
using it,
around.
and they're not talking about it. I think it's phenomenal. I think when you have bloggers and writers who go too much into it, you lose a lot of what makes a team a team.
So wait, are you
But-
talking Moneyball?
Yeah, sabermetrics. Yeah, numbers. Looking at baseball, trying to quantify things in baseball. You can take it too far, just like you can take anything too far. But if you
No.
have a balance of numbers and scouts, I think you're gonna have success.
I agree with the whole that a lot, but I feel like a lot of what happens too that you can't quantify like that is feelings and slumps.
Well, that's the
my
thing,
only,
yeah.
That's my only like hang up about that.
Let's talk
But
more
that's-
about feelings.
That's when you. That's when you balance it. You have real success. And I think people who discount sabermetrics, not to get too off topic, but this is interesting. Remember the Cardinals
Unlike the Red
hacking
Sox.
the
Yeah.
Astros computer systems? The Astros are one of the best baseball teams at analytics. There's a reason the Cardinals hacked their systems. The Astros, up until this year, were losing 110 games a year. Team is irrelevant. But they did analytics. And the best team in baseball hacked formerly the worst team in baseball system. That should tell you something.
It does.
That should tell you that these clubs recognize how important this is. It's not the be all and end all, but it's a huge component.
It's a good
to scout.
starting
Yeah.
point.
Yeah.
It's a good trunk of a tree.
Yeah. There you go.
It's a good foundation.
It's a good foundation.
Those might be the roots.
That's cute.
The
The
whatever.
roots of
Those
the
are the roots.
sabermetrics.
Yeah,
Roots
it's not
to
the
the
trunk.
yeah, there
You got to
There
get
you
the
go,
players
roots.
for the
All
trunk.
right, now I got the whole visual. I got the roots
Oh, yeah.
coming out, Moneyball, and then the tree, and the branch.
I think this is going to be a metaphor that goes on for the rest of the season.
I think we just started
do it.
something.
We just
Yeah.
water it a little
Yeah.
bit each
You just
week.
rocked our
Yeah,
world.
the drought is definitely not in California though. It is in Boston. How's the weather over there? Dry.
Dry.
It's sad. And you know, I listen to all the pundits and stuff, and everything I read, yelps about like how bad the pitching is, but it's like a lack of hitting.
Yeah.
It's all bad,
In
dude.
runnings and scoring
It's
position,
all
leaving men on
bad.
base. It's horrible.
It's all bad. I'm
All
with
bad.
Steph. Like
all
it's
bad.
all. It's all. Even like okay for pitching, the ERA for Boston is 4.39. They're 28th in
They're terrible
league.
right now.
That's awful. So even whether you look at batting or if you look at pitching, none of them are good.
Yeah, but I kind of
She's
take
right.
solace in the fact that they're actually better than that since canning Juan Nieves. And I'm not saying that was like at beginning of May, like May 10th-ish. And I'd be eager to see what their staff ERA is after that May 10th thing, because I bet it's kind of middle of the pack, because they haven't been. And I'm not saying it's Juan Nieves' fault. He's fine. But it was kind of a wake-up call for the staff, and I think they pitched better. And it's been the lack of clutch hitting that's really been the downfall of this team.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, whatever makes you feel
So,
better.
You know,
Look,
yeah, you're right. When we have 0 hits, when it's a shutout, like, yeah.
It's something to think about with hitting. This I know it doesn't
wins.
feel like it. Red Sox are the 4th best hitting team in the American League. The problem isn't hitting; it's getting on base. They're 10th in slugging percentage, 9th in homers, 11th in doubles. It's a singles hitting team. Okay, they don't hit for power. They don't hit people on base. They don't drive anybody in. That's the weird disconnect with this club, that you can hit well enough. I think you take almost any team in the league and say, hey, if you can hit 4th best in the league and be decent at pitching, you're going to be in position on September 15th. But this weird thing where they're not hitting for power when you got guys in the lineup like David Ortiz and Mike Napoli, which is that's all they're supposed to do.
Right.
Hanley Ramirez, Pablo Sandoval, and collectively as a team, they're not doing it.
Yeah.
No.
It's like the little guys are doing it, but not.
It's a bad. I mean, you're getting a lot of non-production from a lot of big guys. I think the Red Sox, I look at them as an outsider who doesn't follow them as hard as you do, obviously. This is a team that the identity crisis is, are you playing to win in 2016 or are you playing to win in 2017? This is very serious. When you make trades in the next 10 days, are you playing for Cole Hamels because you want to win next year? You're not going to win this year, I'm sorry. Are you playing to win next year with Cole Hamels, or do you make a trade for a young guy because you're playing with Eduardo Rodriguez and Swihart and these young guys you have 2017 and beyond? And whatever the decision is, Pick one, stick one, and go with it. Because if you go back and forth, you're in big trouble the next couple of years.
Well, I think that's the biggest problem, that people can't make that decision.
I was just
Because
gonna
people
say.
want to win now, but they have to really come to terms with the fact that it's not going to happen.
Yeah.
And no team, like, no one really wants to say. I mean, some team, like, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like that's the hard, but once they get to it, I agree with you. Like, they're not going to win this year.
Yeah,
it's just
because
not going to happen.
no American League East team in the last 25 years has overcome a first half deficit of more than 3 games to win the division.
Yeah.
The last to do it was Toronto Blue Jays in 1989, the year I was born.
And now Mikey will teach us the 12 steps of being a Red Sox fan. The
I'm
road
still
to
on step
recovery.
1, denial.
Denial,
You know?
he's still
There it
there.
is.
Hey.
No, one is you have to accept something, right? Accept.
I think one is denial, and
Oh, is
then
it?
the next one is acceptance. I don't know.
I don't know
I've never
either.
done it 12.
Me
I don't
neither,
know.
but I
I
feel
feel like
like,
you're on step 4 stuff.
I feel like I feel like it's I'm kind of with Bobby. I mean, what do you think? Do you think that it's next season they're going to be better, or you think they got a couple years of building? I mean, what do you guys think? Like, can it be something that can be turned around in a season? Because I definitely, like, if they turn around and win it this year, I will, like, I mean, come on. It's not going to
The
happen.
one thing you can take solace in is the fact that nobody's running away with the division. So it's not even 90 wins is it going to take to win this division. 87 or 88 wins is going to win this division. So I know they'll have to get hot, but I don't even think they'll have to get scorching hot. If they just kind of get into that rhythm they were like back before the break where they're winning series and just worry about winning series, 2 out of 3, win 6 out of every 10 games, then things can change in a hurry. They've played horrible baseball to this
6
point.
out of 10. Asking
In a
anybody to
hurry.
win 6 out of 10 is huge, though. I mean, and I know it's a fan, you got to say that. It's not going to happen.
Yeah.
It's just not going to happen. Listen, here's the thing about it, too. In the next 10 days, the Blue Jays are going to make a huge trade for a pitcher. The Blue Jays get a pitcher, and they're an instant World Series contender. They might go get Cole Hamels. That team's going to get a pitcher. The Yankees are leading the division, for God's sakes.
Yep.
And the Orioles are not half bad. You're going to have to not only win 6 of 10, you got to piggyback 4 teams. Forget about it.
You say the
Forget
Blue
about
Jays.
it.
Forget about it. He
like,
says it like a New
forget
Yorker.
about
a
Forget
World
about it.
Series like contender, and like the Blue Jays are what? Like have 3 more wins than us?
Yes,
4
and
more
if the
wins?
I'm telling you, if the Blue Jays get a frontline starter, that's a legit team. This isn't Seattle here that should have been good and is struggling. The Blue Jays are close. They're 500. You're not far off. They're right now, 4.5 back in the division. They got a shot with the lineup they have and another starting pitcher on that. Forget it.
They do have a good lineup.
I feel like he's right.
Yeah, well,
It's time to face facts. The Red Sox aren't going to do it this year. So I say, and I know this may be the minority because David Ortiz is a Mount Rushmore guy for you. I think you got to start trading Ortiz, Pedroia, Shane Victorino if you can, some of these older guys,
Wow.
and turn right the hell over.
Wow, I don't
that's
think
a big
I-
sell
yeah,
job
yeah.
That's
right
a
there.
little bit
Listen,
crazy talk.
Listen, you
They're
got
not
to.
they're
There are
not
teams that
trading
could use a
Poppy.
David
They're not
Ortiz.
trading Poppy or Pedroia.
There are teams that could use David Ortiz. I really like Dustin Pedroia. Think about teams that need a middle infielder. The San Diego Padres desperately need middle infielders. San Diego Padres have a lot of pitching to give up, and they're going to be doing a fire sale too. Go get James Shields. Why can't you trade Pedroia for James Shields in some kind of a package?
That hurts my
I'm gonna
feelings.
be
rough.
sick.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be sick.
That's
Spoken like a true NL guy.
No, listen. I mean, get past the emotional attachment to the guys and start saying that this
got
is
2
part.
bugs.
This is part of the identity crisis. You got
This
2
one's the
teams.
booze.
You got 2 teams in one here. You got the established Red Sox guys, Pedroia, Ortiz, Victorino,
Yeah.
whatever, and then you got the young guys. That's the next guard.
But then
Let
you
the
take
next
away
guard
the
come.
veterans that can maybe pull
Yeah.
together some type of inspiration
Not
to
if
come
you-
back
not
and
if-
win
not if you
games.
go
But
get
if you
decent-
if you decide that this is it, this season's over, I could see maybe that. Still don't necessarily know if I like it.
The Red
but-
Sox are in that tough
I
middle
don't
ground.
know.
If you're the Brewers, you know you're selling because you're terrible. If you're the Rockies, you're terrible. If you're the Red Sox, you're just bad enough that you're like, hey, wait a minute, what you just said, we got a shot. You don't have a shot. Don't act like you have a shot. Start selling.
Well, I mean, we got 2 more weeks to see if we're going to be buyers or sellers.
Go
you know?
be a seller.
I mean,
Whoa.
Red Sox
You need to
VP.
be like a
I'm telling
Manager.
you,
Yeah.
go
Yeah,
be a
you
seller.
need to-
you got to look at these guys,
Take
look at
the
them as
emotion
numbers
out of
and
it.
How many games
commodities.
off?
I understand. I know David Ortiz is a legend.
70.
Dustin
I don't
Pedroia
think
is a
he,
legend.
I don't think he. I could see Pedroia going before Ortiz. I
Yeah,
don't think
maybe.
he's leaving the organization.
Well, he's got
He's
a
not-
pretty locked down no trade clause, and he's
Yeah.
going
How
to
many more
retire.
years
a
does he
Red
have in his
Sox.
contract? Yeah, he's only got.
Ortiz
I think
is
he's
signing
got an
short-term
option
deals,
next
though,
year.
yeah.
They're
Yeah.
signing short-term deals.
Yeah.
So
So,
that's
but
good.
he's like, what do you think? How many more years do you think he has in the game?
He's done. I think if the option next year is it, if he exercises that or whatever, that's got to be it.
Yeah, he's
Next
got
year's his last year.
You can't resign him.
a
That's
couple
not
of
it.
years tops.
There's
No
no
one's
way.
gonna like take him for a year, especially how he's playing now. Come on.
Yeah,
No
but
one's
at the
gonna do
same
that.
time, don't trade him. Let him finish as a Red Sox.
But
He
those
could
things,
still have a hot month and wind
He
up with
could.
30 homers and 90
There's a lot of
RBIs.
games.
Every time they pitch him the ball, he's gonna hit a home run.
Granted,
Guys,
he's hitting 240.
it's not
funny. It's a 240 guy.
2004.
Yeah.
That's
The
true.
game has changed. I mean, seriously, the game has
The
changed
shift.
with all the trading. Yeah, I mean, it's a different business experience now. You know what I mean? Getting these players and stuff.
I agree with Bobby to an extent. Like, if there is a
do
sure
it.
deal, like, okay, that's really like, we'd be stupid not to do it. Okay, but I don't see why do it.
Nobody
now.
would want to
There's-
give them a good enough deal for Ortiz.
Well, that's
Who
what I'm
wants
saying.
him?
But you're
Well,
right.
you could put him in a package with something else. The Minnesota Twins, we talked about this last week, could love a designated hitter type guy. There's a few teams who need a bat. You always
Yeah.
need a bat.
Dude, Poppy's not going to Minnesota.
Well, he came from Minnesota. Not for nothing, he
That's
came
true.
from Minnesota.
That's
But I know it's unlikely with him. But you got to start
Yes.
looking at some of these older guys and saying, how do we dump them? We're not going to get anything
pulling
amazing
a
back
LeBron.
unless you take Pedroia and put him in a package. But you got to do something with some of these guys.
I don't think
You
the
have
front
to.
office is, thinks it's as dire a situation.
I don't
as
think
you
they're
do,
pulling the
that
ripcord
it's
like
like
you
an
are.
unbelievable sell job,
I agree.
And
I'm an
so-
AJ Preller. Let's say it like
Yeah.
that.
He's pulling the ripcord.
And I'm not as big a James Shields fan as you are. I mean, you look at his record in the playoffs.
Well, I'm
his
looking at
career,
frontline
it's
guys
pretty-
who are available.
Yeah.
We're not talking about Mike Leake, Johnny Cueto, guys like that. Good luck getting Cole Hamels with Dustin Pedroia. The Phillies ain't going to do that.
Yeah. No.
You're going to need to give up somebody real young and real exciting for Cole Hamels.
Yeah, well, I go back and forth every day on whether to include Swihart in that deal.
No.
You got to include. Listen, the Phillies are talking to the Dodgers about getting Corey Seager or Julio Urias or both. Those are
Right.
their two best prospects. So the Red Sox are going to have to give the Phillies something real
Something
good,
more to
Gonna
talk
have-
about.
which is like Swihart, Eduardo Rodriguez, a combination of guys like that.
Let's pump the
we
brakes.
can't. Yeah, we
Let's
can't. We're
tell
not
you.
gonna. We're not gonna give
I'm
a
just
pitcher for a
telling you.
pitcher. We need pitching, so we're gonna go a pitcher for a pitcher.
I'm just telling you, get
We're not-
ready to give up a lot of young guys if you get a guy like Hamels.
If we, if
Do you
we
think it's worth it?
No.
if we throw a deal out there, and I don't like if we acquire Hamels, I don't think that's like throwing up the white flag on this season. He can help us this season as well as into the future. I don't think they'll go after those rental players like the Cuetos and the guys that are up after this year. They're not going to do that. So I think it's Hamels. I heard an interesting rumor I was reading today. I was on Yardbarker or something. Sonny Gray potentially, and that would be nice because you have a young guy under control. Boom, prime from the A's because when his contract comes up, they won't be able to sign him. So that's always nice. And they're always frequent trade partners with us. There's a good relationship there with Billy Bean. So, but I would find it hard to believe that if they decide, stay staunch on not getting rid of Swihart and not getting rid of Betts. Betts is obviously untouchable. And even Rodriguez. But if they put a package of Manuel Margot, Rafael Devers, two guys that were just shown in the futures game, and like a Henry Owens and maybe a Jackie Bradley Jr., that's got to pique the Phillies' interest.
Let me
and if we take Papelbon
go back 1 second.
and his contract.
Oh God, go back 1 second. Why is Betts obviously untouchable? I would argue, and I know I'm crazy, but the only untouchable in all of baseball is Mike Trout. Why is Betts untouchable?
He's crazy. I mean, you're crazy because this guy in 3 years is going to be the second best player to Mike Trout.
So in 3
I'm
years,
with you
he's
that he's
untouchable.
exciting, but I don't.
They're
I don't
not
know
giving
that
him up.
that's- I don't know that there's a lot of guys you can say that about. There's a lot of young guys coming up you can say that about. What would the Rockies say about Nolan Arenado? I don't think anybody's untouchable. I think if you get the right deal with the right guys, you can't say untouchable.
Nolan
the only
Arenado's
untouchables are the contracts, like a Giancarlo Stanton's contract, a wild contract, because it just becomes so hard to deal with it. But these young, controllable guys, even the most exciting prospects, sometimes you get the best deals for guys like that. You got to be crazy.
I don't know.
It
I'm
comes
really
down-
interested to see.
It comes down to what their identity is. Do you win in 2016? If you do, you go get Cole Hamels, or do like an extension with Johnny Cueto if you can do it, or you go get somebody who can help now, or do you say let's keep the nucleus, the young nucleus, and win in 2017, 18, 19, 20, etc. I would almost prefer the young nucleus, but it's going to take another year or two to do that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't think they know. Kind of how we just said
But I
earlier.
think that's a smart move, honestly, because a lot of those trades were talking crazy talk. It's a little bit of crazy talk.
Yeah.
And no
I
trade-
understand it.
Fans
It's a
would be
little
pissed.
No trade, no Cole Hamels, no nobody is going to make this team a contender this year.
Right.
Unless you got a ridiculous amount of players that you wouldn't even be able to do in a video game. They're not going to be a contender this year.
Well, here's the thing. No matter who we acquire, Cole Hamels is not not going to be in the batter's box with runners on second and third and 2 outs, because we don't hit in the clutch. Outside of Bogarts, nobody hits with runners in scoring position on this team. So regardless of who we acquire at the deadline, the roster as it stands now has to play up to their capabilities.
Yeah.
For an extended period of time, not just 2 weeks or, David gets hot for like 3 days and then goes in the tank for like 7.
That doesn't work.
But, I don't want him to mortgage the farm here at this trade deadline. I would like to, see what these young pitchers can produce. Because, you talk about all the time about not wanting to, get a guy's 30s and pay for his 20s and all that stuff. Mm-hmm. So the way you're able to do that is you need to get young pitchers that come up through your system and get good, like the old Braves. That's why they were, like, winning 15 straight divisions, and, like, the A's have done, like, 3 times, in the past 12 years.
But you got to be patient to do that.
Yeah.
You got to be really patient to do that.
And it's like applying, kind of like Bobby was saying, like planning ahead 2 years from now.
Yeah, patient more than the next 3 months.
Exactly.
It's going to be maybe 2016, maybe 2017. Hey, 2018 could be cool. And that's fine. A lot of teams do that. A lot of teams bank on the future. That's what the Astros did 5 years ago. Then they lost 115 games 4 years in a row. And look at them now. I know that's an extreme example, but that's the kind of patience you have to say, how strong are we as a front office and as a team to see the future, to see the goal, and just stick with that no matter what. And when, hey, Cole Hamels pops up, this is exciting. No. This is the goal. We stay on this train track.
Yeah.
Oh, boy, this
train
track.
I don't think any train track offered to Mike right now is one he wants to take.
Then because you look despondent.
He's walking on the tracks with his little stick. Nobody.
Not to make this sound irrelevant, not to make this sound heartless, but are you ready for the Red Sox to be irrelevant for 2 years, knowing what that might mean 4 years from now?
We're never going to see the guy again.
They're pretty terrible right now. So, and I'm, it's pretty tough. So, but I'm here. I'm still here. I'm getting through it.
With his decorations.
But what would you prefer, as the biggest Red Sox fan here at this table? What would you prefer for them to do something for the immediate change of now? Or like Bobby's been talking about figuring out your identity and prepping for the far future.
If it doesn't cripple the farm system, we can acquire Hamels. Then today I say do it, but now tomorrow I'll say don't do it. Stay pat. I'd like to see them add maybe a killer bullpen arm. He's not a killer bullpen arm, but I've been hearing Jason Frazier rumors. But one thing
That's the guy you'd get for free. I believe the Royals DFA'd him.
Oh,
right?
they did?
Yeah.
Then he will definitely be a Red Sox. The also, but one thing I am encouraged about, because what you have to do, and especially with kind of subpar starting pitching, you have to get that bullpen and shorten the game, much like the Royals did last year. I know you're a big James Shields fan, but they went to the World Series with James Shields and a bunch of okay starters, some of them that had really good years, but because they shortened that game to 6 innings,
No, that's Greg Holland, Wade Davis, automatic, and the Royals played the best defense in all of baseball last year, and that's important too. That's part of why James Shields was so successful.
Right.
They played the best defense in all of baseball. If you can build pitching and defense, which everybody wants to do and everybody talks about, when you do that, all of this hitting in the clutch stuff suddenly becomes irrelevant because you start winning a lot of games 3-2.
Yeah.
And there, that's the other identity part of it is when the Red Sox had success in 04 and 07. Look at the roster. Look at the pitching rotation. Look at even guys like Derek Lowe pitching out of their faces for those. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. You had guys who were having just career years, guys who were showing up, and legends like Pedro Martinez is a Hall of Famer. Those guys are few and far between. But if you can recreate that as best you can with the current crop on the mound, you can do whatever you got to do at the plate.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Well, you could throw that out the window because we can't play defense. But
that's why we're so upset that we don't have these clutch hits because, like if we were playing consistent baseball all around, we wouldn't need these clutch hits. It's like the yin and yang. We got nothing.
Yeah, exactly. All different components. They're not working.
That's the biggest component, though. You got to be able to hit with
Yeah,
runners
I
in
agree.
scoring
You
position.
gotta be hit, period.
And
Right.
that's huge.
It weighs more, but in the same sense, if we were pitching and shutting everybody else down, it would be a little bit easier because we wouldn't have to play the catch-up game.
Look at the Dodgers game today. One example of a lot for the Dodgers. Dodgers get 10 hits through the first 8 innings, scored 1 run. Guess what? Zach Greinke tosses a shutout. So it doesn't matter. They end up getting 4 in the 9th and winning anyways. But you score 1 run, they'd have won 1-0 because Zach Greinke's unhittable.
Right.
Now, You can't go get Zach Greinke. I mean, maybe he'll opt out of his contract. Maybe you could.
Maybe.
Yeah.
But
We'll take him.
Yep.
That's the rumor.
But if you can get pitchers like that, you're going to have so many games where you know what? You can only get 2 runs, but it's okay because so-and-so only gave up 1. Eduardo
Right.
Rodriguez went out there and gave up 1. You know, whoever it is went out there and gave up 1, and guess what? We win a lot of games 2-1. That's what the Dodgers are doing for Greinke and Kershaw right now. It's what a lot of teams are doing on the frontline starters.
Yeah.
If you can get 3 guys like that and win 3 out of every 5, every rotation, every turn,
Yeah.
That's 6 out
pretty
of
good.
every 10, like you said earlier.
Boom.
There
That's
it is.
all we need.
I'm just bringing it right back to
Love
you,
it.
Mikey.
I'm encouraged by Wade Miley's recent performance. We're
There
going to
you
get
go.
it done with the roster we got. Oh!
I wonder if the game's still
There's a little
It's still
bit
delayed.
of
delayed.
Still
ignorant
delayed, just
optimism,
checked.
as I like to call it. But, yeah, I mean, so you think they're going to be sellers at the deadline? They're not going to blow it up like you say, Bobby.
no.
No.
No, they won't. I think that there's
But I was like, no, I was just saying.
Dustin Pedroia is going to retire.
But there's
Red Sox.
there's 3 ways to go,
Yeah.
and it is try to win now, which can be done, but it's difficult. It's get much younger for the future, which I think is the way they should go. And the way that I think they will go is do very little or nothing and
Right.
walk that middle line because you want to keep Pedroia, you want to keep Ortiz because these guys are legends. It's not realistic to get rid of them, but then you have to walk that line where you got to let them play it out. Do you really want David Ortiz to play out another couple years? Not the fan in you,
Right.
the baseball person in you. Do you want to give Ortiz another 800 at bats as a Red Sox? Because that's what you're looking at.
I like him coming back next year, and that'll probably be the swan song. That's fine. That's
Yeah.
fine. I'm fine with that. But you guys know my position on this. I feel like after 04, you know, and obviously 07 was nice, but 04 and 013 were pretty magical seasons. And we just, on the karma scale, you know, we just got to suck for a while. And I'm fine with that. I mean, it
That's
was
true.
worth it. It was worth it. So if we are going to suck, let's rebuild with the youth, like you're saying. But I still think you keep around the Pedroias and the Ortiz to kind of tutor these young guys.
I'm really interested, and I don't know the answer to this, and I don't know if you guys do.
I do.
But I wonder, what is the percentage in baseball compared to the other sports of teams winning back-to-back championships? Is it more so in baseball that it happens? Less so?
63%.
Ooh, we'll do the math recently. I mean, it hadn't happened. But teams like the Giants have won in alternating years. And I think that speaks to, look at the Giants this year as an example.
Does that speak to like regrouping and building?
It speaks to a long year. Madison Bumgarner threw almost 300 innings last year. I don't expect him to win again this year, not just to follow that crazy alternating years pattern, but because you have a hangover the next year from playing an extra, 25, 30 games?
Yeah.
That's a lot of extra baseball.
That's a
He threw-
really long hangover.
He threw like 50 extra innings. But it matters. Madison Bumgarner alone threw like 50 extra innings in the postseason. That's a lot of pitches, you know? And every one of those guys going forward, it's tough to go back-to-back and repeat. The Sox did it in 13, so they have a year off anyways, and they're far from it. But to your earlier point about karma, about we did all, we won 3, let's have a little karma now. Look at karma the other way. Look at who's good in the American League now. Kansas City was awful for a long time.
True.
Houston was
Awful.
awful for a long
Bad.
time. And some of these teams, these smaller market teams, have figured out how to win with players that are young and exciting, but most importantly, cheap.
Yeah.
Have they started yet in Anaheim?
No,
that's still delayed.
Still delayed.
Ooh.
What's
Hopefully Eduardo can go out and throw a gem tonight.
What time are they supposed to start though?
They were supposed to start at 5:05.
Five,
but
yeah.
Oh right, I'm like it's
It's on
usually
2
7
hours.
o'clock games.
We got the knuckless Stephen Wright on the bump tomorrow, so who knows? Put 2 wins together, that's a split.
You think they're
First,
gonna
the
win?
hottest
You think
team
they're
in
gonna
the AL.
back to back? You think on a rain delay cancellation they're gonna back to back beat the Angels in doubleheaders?
Boom.
You are out of your mind.
Boom!
I mean,
And then we got 3 at Houston,
Good
and then
luck.
3 at Fenway versus the Tigers.
Houston, we just
So-
spoke about that. Good job.
yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna hold my breath.
Yeah.
It's a lot. It's a
Just
lot, but
saying.
I'm with you. I'm hoping for a positive change. I'm just so tired of it being so constant negative. Like
It's
in
hard-
the hitting
it's hard
and the
to look at
on base
it.
percent, all that. It's just so disappointing to read over and over again. It's like I feel like I just read this last week. Same thing.
Get ready for another 70 games of it. Last question. So for you guys, I'm curious. Next 10 days, what's the trade? Who makes what trade for the Red Sox?
I think they end up getting outbid on Cole Hamels, and he ends up going to the Dodgers.
I agree
I
with you.
agree
I
with
think
you.
he
He's
could go
not
to.
coming.
I think he might go to Texas, but I agree with you.
Yeah, I think so too.
I think we're going to make some lesser trades, try and bolster the bullpen, and although if we can get a Sonny Gray, they'll go after Sonny Gray and they'll get him. if there's any truth to that rumor. But I have a feeling of it being a kind of a quiet trading deadline for the Sox.
Yeah, they're gonna do what you just said. They're gonna just, you know.
Which is bad. The middle path is bad.
Yeah,
The middle path
that's
is
what they're gonna
bad.
do.
Blow it up is crazy, but at least you're doing something. The middle path is bad.
Hey, man.
The Sonny Gray thing is very. It could be
March.
very exciting,
It's a rebirth.
but again, I'm not going to bet the mortgage on it.
And I'm still holding out hope for the season. 70 games left.
70.
Boom. They're going to win 45 of those. Right in the mix. What's up?
It's not going to happen.
So we have to write that. I have to write that down. So
70 games.
Write it down.
I'm gonna write it
everybody.
down so that we can check
You're
this out.
saying you're
Write it
saying
down.
you're saying this is an 87 win club.
We'll see.
How does that sound now?
You know?
Bobby
we'll
just
see.
destroys our
saying-
hopes and
I
dreams.
you're saying a club.
Blew him up.
I'm
Write it
sorry.
down.
You're saying. Let me look at this real quick.
Oh, boy.
You're saying a club
Here we
that's
go.
starting Wade Miley every 5 days is an 87 win club.
Don't knock Wade Miley. I mean, since he blew up Farrell, he's had like 5 out of 7 good turns.
Oh, you're saying a club that still has Justin Masterson in the bullpen
Hey.
is an 87 win club.
Justin Masterson, Saturday, boom, 3 innings pitched of 1-hit ball.
And what was the score when he was pitching? You're telling me that a team with Mike Napoli in the lineup hitting 191 is an 87 win
No,
club?
a team with Mike Napoli on the bench and Brock Holt at first base.
Yes.
But
Yes.
as we
Yes.
saw
Wow.
I should say
yesterday,
on the active roster.
I think Masterson could turn out to be maybe that 7th inning guy we're looking for to shorten that game. But
I love your optimism.
know.
I think it's absurd, but I love it.
believe me, this was not me in 03. You know, this is a reborn me. All right. How about when people want to find you guys this week? Where can they tweet you, Bobby?
At Bobby DeMuro.
Nice.
You guys can find me at IAMSTEFZ.
You guys can find me on Twitter at Monse Bolanos, MonseBolanos, and be sure to rate us on iTunes.
Yeah.
5. Give
Nice.
us 5. Give us something.
Give us some
Sox
comments.
aren't doing anything. Give us something.
Yeah, give us some comments. Give us something to talk about.
Something to talk about.
When the
Yeah.
Sox lose.
There you
Like,
go.
just give us random topics. When the Sox lose, we'll just pick a random topic and be like, okay, what do you talk about
Yes.
this?
Yes, I love everything Stef's saying.
And you guys can find me next week at Red Sox Rap 360.
Still don't have a
Word.
Twitter yet, man.
No.
Get your,
Killing me,
I'm gonna
man.
get you a Twitter. I'm gonna make you a Twitter.
Go Sox.
See you guys.
Woo!
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.